They done brought LisaRaye back to talk some more. This is a whole live, so watch the little replay if you can. But here goes some waiting room music. You could skip on the replays. Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jaylee. This is JLeesCorner. I hope y'all can hear me because I just wasted water all over my computer, my keyboard. So I'm hoping that did not mess up my sound at all for this live. That's what I get for being thirsty. So I'm wiping water up as we speak, but let me know if y'all can hear me on here, because if y'all can't hear me, then that's gonna suck very much so. But this is my review. Okay, y'all can hear me. Okay, good. This is my review for Iyanla Fix My Life, the season 8 episode. Well, this is kind of episode 1, but I also feel as if this is the last episodes that she is going to do at all. We knew that this would be her last season, and when we saw her before, a few of the episodes did feel unfinished, and so we see that she's trying to finish those episodes now. Honey, this water spillage, when I say it happened right as I was trying to get things together, so y'all hear stuff moving around because I'm wiping stuff down because I don't want to mess up any of my equipment. Honey, my keyboard is for sure wet. But yeah, so LisaRaye is back for a one-on-one by herself, not with her mom or her daughter, not even with her sister, who I felt like that's who we should have seen her come on here with her damn sister. But again, we just have to do with LisaRaye. Okay, now I can come on the screen because stuff is no longer wet. Hi. That happened so at the wrong moment. Anyway, so yeah, boom, Lisa and Iyanla. I feel as if LisaRaye um, always is a character of LisaRaye for me. I feel as if we always get her representation. I feel not that I think she's fake, because I don't think she's fake, but I feel as if she also feels like she has to be this hard, um, spirited, tough cookie. And I'm like, I don't think you can kind of calm down sometimes. Now she brings up how, she felt like she did not get enough help last time and she still has some healing to do, some fixing to do. I felt like last episode, her last episode, that she didn't nothing was fixed. You put some band-aids on some leaking boats, okay, but the boat's gonna still sink, is what I felt at the end of her previous episode with her mom, and her daughter. Because something in me felt like this is a cute band-aid to make it look like we fine, but we not in real life. Now her took across facial expression. Now Iyanla also brought up how she also did not feel like LisaRaye was done before. That she felt like before LisaRaye was done with what she came there for. She was kind of over, stuff with her mom and her daughter, but she wasn't done with herself, and that's why she came back. Now Iyanla also asked her why her daughter did not come back with her this time, because again, her daughter and her, they're the ones who have issues and whatnot. And then, LisaRaye then said, well, because she feel like her time is money, and so she not getting paid for it, she don't want to come. I don't blame her. I feel as if at this point in her life, her daughter is an adult, and we already won the show one time. And we can't, move on from there and fix ourselves in one way or the other. I don't feel like taking, a few days out of my day to go on a TV show that I ain't getting paid for. I won't do that. Mama, you can go do that. I won't do that. I did not blame her, even though I do feel like her daughter needs some intense therapy, more than 2 days on here with Mama Iyanla. Now at the house, Iyanla brings up how, there are steps that LisaRaye needs to go to or go through in order to get to her throne or get to a crown as, the queen mother or whatnot. Because the whole thing with LisaRaye, her mama, her house still, the daughter still there. Even though her mama said, no, Lisa said her mama has been packing, but she hasn't left. And even though before she said Kai will have to move out, Kai ain't moved out. So the thing that she said what going on still has not happened in her own house. I'm gonna leave that be. So again, you want to be the queen of your castle on the throne or whatever, but you have to go through these hills and valleys to do that. And it was the valley of understanding, the valley of courage, the valley of non-resistance, the valley of OPP. And I'm like, what? OPP? But OPP meant other people's problems and or other people's purposes. Okay. Also the valley of your purpose and your intent, the valley of success from within, the valley of love. She had to go through all these valleys to get to where she needs to be on her throne with her crown and all of that and whatnot. Okay. So they sit and talk about the last time she was there, what happened last time. And LisaRaye brings up how Iyanla told them last time how they were a mess. It was a mess or whatever, and they did not feel things. They thought too much about things or whatever. And Iyanla tells her how I feel like with you, there's a wall up, okay, from you. Most of the time, there's a wall up between you and whoever else. There's something that's not computing the right way, and how all your responses seem rehearsed. LisaRaye has always been an actress, even if she ain't getting paid for it, okay? I feel like she wants to say what people want to hear sometimes. So she's thinking about, what do I want to say? How do I want to say it? Is what she does. Is what she does. And she then said, well, no, what you see as me being rehearsed is really not that. It's really me trying to search for how I feel. And I felt what Iyanla then told her, if you are out here, doing that, that's the problem. You cannot think about what you feel, because at that point you're processing things in your head and not in your body. And if y'all realize it, sometimes when I review things, I talk with my eyes closed, because you're not thinking, you're feeling what you're saying. And I 100% got what she meant. You cannot sit here and talk to someone about how you feel, but you're thinking about it. Like, how do I feel? Am I happy? you know what? I think I'm happy. So let me express happy things. Or I think I'm mad. Let me be mad. You have to live it in your spirit to see what it is. And a lot of people who do that are people who talk with their eyes closed because you're working through it in your body. You know what I'm saying, it also helps you recollect what you felt in moments of whatever happened. And Lisa don't do that. Yeah, I do think she's a bit of a narcissist, but not in a way to where, well, I can see that. Yes, I can see that. Um, but again, I appreciate y'all telling her like, you cannot process things in your head. You have to do it within your body or just within your spirit because it's how you feel. It's how you feel. It's not what you think. It's how you feel, and that's the difference. In me feeling like LisaRaye always is acting because she's thinking about what she's supposed to say and how she's supposed to feel because she's an actress. Even she ain't get paid for it. Now they then get on the public fight between her and Brett. Okay, that happened or whatever, and I can appreciate Iyanla. I won't say fast tracking, but getting to the good shit. Okay, let's get to the reasons you need to be here. Because you fussing with your sister was very much so out of pocket. Okay, so what's going on there? Because you're in a breakdown with your mom, with your sister, and with your daughter. Like, what's going on with that? And LisaRaye brings up how, we had before coming here last time, I was walking on eggshells at my house because I did not want to blow up on people and then have to address that here. I felt like I can come here and you can give me like tools to deal with it or whatever. And I'm like, how are you at your house walking on eggshells? Like, what's going on there? And then, but she brings up how she just wonders why she's in breakdown with, her mom, her sister, her daughter. Like, how am I in breakdown with them? And Iyanla said, the breakdown isn't even with them. The breakdown is in you because you are the common denominator in all of these breakdowns. So it's not you can't have breakdowns with multiple people and think it's the issue with each of them. No, the issue is you because you're the common denominator. And that's what LisaRaye, I feel as if, never really wants to admit that something is wrong with her. Okay, that does not mean that there's not something also wrong with her mom, daughter, or sister, but the fact that you are beef with all of them means it's something more wrong in you that you need to handle because you can only handle you. Okay, and then she was like, because your sister is who you are. Okay, your daughter, that's who you were, and your mama, that's who you're becoming. Okay, you need to see that because you are in an uphill battle about what you got going on inside of you. And if you don't address it, it will get worse. And I feel as if the fact that she was here last time with her mom and sister and it didn't get fixed, it got worse because it then got worse with her fight with Brad or her the spat with Brad online. So it got worse because she didn't fix the shit. Okay. But that's neither here nor there. So she then has to do like a little rating scale. And I'm going to go back to that. LisaRaye and Brett, the reason I feel as if that was a worse situation from her not handling things is because the way she reacted to her sister on a public platform to me looked like, I don't care what anyone think about you or about me. I'm going to show my ass because that's how I feel. And when anyone feels as if they have the right to show their ass, regardless of how it makes someone else feel, you are definitely the problem. You can cuss and fuss your sister, your cousin, out all you want in private. When you get to the point of not giving a fuck and you do it in public, something's wrong with that. When it seems like it wasn't needed or necessary. Okay, it seemed like Brad didn't do anything specifically to warrant that. Even if you were upset with her, nothing she did warranted that public lashing as her sister. I'll say that. It's tough to swallow hearing that you are the common denominator. I've had to hear that by myself, but to open the door for me to work can be done. Yeah, it's like it takes time. Like I used to be a raging. I used my temper used to be something horrible. I used to go from 0 to 1,000 in less than a second. It took less than anything to tick me off, and I would go off. But I was younger. I was in my 20s, a little bit maybe when I was 30. But I feel as if once I turned 30, I cut that down so much that now it takes a lot to get me to that point. You know what I'm saying? Because I've grown, I've learned you can't let little shit bother you. You can't tick, tick, boom. You know what I'm saying? That ain't the thing to do. LisaRaye has not learned that she cannot tick, tick, boom. Okay, tick, tick, booming don't make you grown. Tick, tick, booming don't make you real. Tick, tick, boom show that you don't have the level of maturity to control your emotions. Because there's a way to disengage from someone who pissed you off without going off. And that's what you have to learn over time. She just feel as if she has every right to do it, and that ain't right either. Anyway, so they do get to this little rating scale. There was some principles that Iyanla gave her to rate herself. These are things we're going to work on here. So rate from 1 to 5. 5 being you don't have that in you at all. Like you don't do that at all. And 1 being you don't do it at all. 5 being you embody that fully and that's you all the time. Again, 1 is bad, 5 is amazing. So the principles were patience, courage, wisdom, honesty, non-judgmental, forgiveness, and self-mastering. LisaRaye gave herself a 4 on all of those. And as she was saying a 4. Y'all was like, a 4. A 4? And a 4 meant I am this most of the time, but I want to do better. You're a 4, LisaRaye, with patience, courage, wisdom, honesty, being non-judgmental, forgiveness, and self-mastery. And I was like, who's she talking about? That ain't her. That's not you. At all. It's like, what's going on? What? No. Let's see. She was definitely falling apart doing that publicly. She normally still rehearse. Yes, I agree. But anyway, the whole 4 aspect of these things, I was like, bullshit. That's the first time I called bullshit on here. But this is still Lisa trying to be LisaRaye, the actor. She's trying to be who she thinks she is. This is not the true Lisa who's trying to be open to the work that has to be done. But again, we know it takes time to get to that point. No one comes in off the gate ready to be open when they've never been open before. LisaRaye, in my opinion, has never been open before. So these are all starting steps. So again, I was like, girl, you 4s is lies. They're all up and through. So she then has her go like lay down and was she laying down? Yeah, she had to lay down and kind of calm down and whatnot and like just say this to that. No, that's not what it was before that happened. Before that laying down part happened, she asked her who was the first person that broke your heart. This is her father. And she brings up how her father was her number one fan, how he made her feel like whatever she was doing was worth something. She was worth something. If she said 2 + 2 is 4, like whatever it was she did, he made her feel validated, and it was the most best, amazing this or that ever. And to me, I feel as if LisaRaye likes to speak of her father in such a positive way, and to make it seem as if he was this perfect father, this perfect man. And I'm like, but you know that's not factual. As an adult, that isn't factual. So I feel as if as a grown adult, you can express past memories in a way of, at that time, I felt this. I now realize that. You know what I'm saying? LisaRaye never speaks on her father in any current adult-like mood or mode or way. She continually speaks of him as a child who is unaware that your daddy ain't shit. He cheating on mama. He got a girlfriend and a wife. Like, she doesn't speak on him like in any adult capacity. She doesn't. It's like a child speaking of her father. Like, she's still stuck at being however old she was, when things was the best in her mind as a child. Because as a child, if your father is never around on a daily basis, but he comes around once a week with money and toys and clothes, those once a week visits seems amazing and doesn't compare to mama who's there every day, okay, clothing you and feeding you, but mama make you wash the dishes. Mama makes you take the trash out. Mama makes you do chores. Mama makes you do these things that you don't feel like doing. But daddy don't. Daddy, like, he's bringing you money and gifts and he's amazing. And that's how she speaks about her father. Like, the little bit he did for her was better than anything else anybody else did. I'm not girl chance some bullshit. So Iyanla asked her, like, well, how old was it when your father? Oh yeah, like the video. What y'all doing? I'm gonna take a pause. Go ahead and like the video, please, and thank you. Okay, it's free $99. It don't cost nothing or whatever. It is very much so the easiest thing you can do. It's the cheapest way to support your favorite YouTuber. It's to like the video. Also share a little bit, but hit the like button. Okay, it's nice. Okay, it don't hurt your finger. Okay, you ain't gotta go to where to do it or nothing. Please and thank you. It helps you to share us and put us in a better position on YouTube. Okay, so thank you very much. Back to Lisa. She seems to have a lot of resentment and yes, resentment and disrespect for her mama, and that to me is crazy. Okay, yeah, she doesn't. I feel like the father though may have passed away. I can't remember, but I do think that could be why she don't. But I can't remember too much. But yeah, but they then get on. When her father got into the wheelchair, I always assumed that LisaRaye's father, because he was shot in a robbery, she said, and that's how he ended up in the wheelchair. But I always feel like that happened when she was like a teenager or whatever. And when she said, well, no, it happened when I was about 8 or 9 months old, meaning she wasn't even old enough. She don't have any real memory of her father outside of him being this man in a wheelchair. And I feel as if the fact that her mama stayed with him, and come like, how did he get around to be cheating if he's in a wheelchair? Who took him to these places? Like, people really enabled him to do these things. I was like, how does that happen? It's kind of crazy to me. And I was like, but again, the fact that her only, memory of him is him in the chair, I felt like, well, that was weird. Now, she brings up how at one point she never realized or thought about it. She felt like he didn't really need to be in the chair and he should just walk. And so she brought up how she like pushed him out the chair one day, like took him over. And when he could not get up and walk, she then realized, oh, so he need a chair. And then she said from that point on, she felt like, okay, we have to take care of him. And that's where the bullshit started. She felt like I have to take care of him, even though he's a fucked up individual. Okay? He treats mama like shit. He cheats on her. He is a bad individual. You may see him as a good father to you, but the amount of disrespect he showed you should prove to you he is not a good person. I just don't get it. Now, she asked her, well, how did he break your heart? And LisaRaye got up here and said that at the time, her father, who was still her mother, had a girlfriend, okay? And I waste my water by not putting a top back on my water in this bill. But again, there. So she brought up how the father, who was with her mother still, had a girlfriend. The girlfriend had a daughter. And LisaRaye was in this nice, prestigious school or whatnot. And the father's girlfriend then was also going to the school. So we assume that the father got the daughter in the same school as Lisa. And Lisa felt as if, how dare you have her here too? She's not your daughter. I'm your daughter. And Iyanla like, oh, so you were upset that the other daughter was in your space. She said, well, yeah. And when Iyanla said, oh, but you were not hurt that your father had a girlfriend while still with your mother, to me that showed you didn't care how he treated your mama, but he bet not treat you that way. He can have some other woman in his life and be rude to my mama, but he bet not have no other daughter in his life that takes my place. So yeah, daddy, have someone who takes mama place, but not mine. Don't do that to me. So to me, that it's bullshit to see that she didn't connect the two because she lived the two of daddy dogging mama out. But when he tried to do that to you, you did not like that, and that's how he worked hard because of the girlfriend's daughter, not how he treats your mama, how you allow him to treat your mama. Not that she could have stopped that, but she could have stopped fantasizing this perfect father image in her head that she still holds on to this day. It's bullshit if you ask me, whatever. And then, she brings up how, well, back then or whatever, he was still home. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, it was normal. They argued about it, but it was normal. And that I'm like, no, you can say stuff like that was normal then, but you're still trying to defend that shit now when you know it's not normal. It's like a child not understanding sex at 5. So at 5 years old, you don't understand touching you was wrong because you don't understand it. So as a child, you don't get that. But you can't be a full-fledged grown woman in your she's in her 50s, I believe, and you don't understand that now as an adult that was wrong. So you would need to speak on it differently versus defending the bullshit of it all. And that's what makes me mad with LisaRaye. But I'm happy that Iyanla is pointing out these gems to her. To not only her, but to us. That's the thing about that to me. Anyway, so, she brought up how, like, you were ignoring things that you knew weren't right. Okay? And you do that now. Okay? With your daughter or whatever. And so Lisa brings up how, Kai at times will say she's forgetful. You know what I'm saying? And she won't do things and whatnot. Okay? And she's like, okay, well, what do you act like you don't know? When Kai say she's forgetful, what do you act like you don't know when she say that? And Lisa can, oh, that she's forgetful. Oh, look, I'm like, bullshit. Okay, bullshit. When she finally admits to, okay, what I act like I don't know is that Kai full of shit, she lying. Right. Okay. And she brings up how, you know she's saying is you know what she's saying is bullshit because she just doesn't want to do it. And you ignore the fact that she doesn't want to do it. And you accept that bullshit of, oh, you just forgot. And you know it ain't true. You really know it isn't true. And then, it's like, that's like you can't tell me that you're honest all the time. You just sat here and wasn't honest because you knew exactly what I was asking you. And you then said something other than the truth. So you're not even always honest. Okay, let that be that. She brings about Kai is who you were. Okay, a young girl who loved her father and made excuses for him disrespecting your mama. The same way you make excuses for her for disrespecting you and lying about being on bullshit. Okay, yes, you can love your parents and still hold them accountable for the bullshit they did as a child when you were a child. And now as an adult, you get what was wrong in that. And I always say, once you are an adult, it's okay to have adult conversations with your parents about things of the past. If you had those things to talk about. For me, I think I am very lucky with the mom I had. My life was, if perfect is 100, I'm at like a 90. As far as my childhood, like it's a good 90. My mom was the best mom. Like I don't have to have any kind of conversation with her like LisaRaye needs to have with people. Even though me and my mom talk about stuff all the time, but it's not as if there was any BS that she did that I have to address as an adult. Now, with my birth father, yes, and I've had those conversations or whatever, but not with my mom. LisaRaye is living in the dysfunction that her parents put her in. And even though she's an adult, she still lives by those childish assumptions that I'm sorry, even though she's an adult, she lives in a childish assumption of things. Even though she knows as an adult is bullshit. Okay. Kind of dumb. Yes, it's important to have those talks with your parents, absolutely. And because you're an adult now. You know what I'm saying? So if mama was out here with daddy, letting daddy beat on her or whatever, and mama was neglecting you, whatever, and you can have those type of talks as an adult. You need to. Okay. Now Iyanla asked her, she's ever disappointed in Kai. Has Kai ever broken her heart? Has she shown up as less than you would want her to be? And Lisa says yes to them all. And she's like, okay, just like your father. Your father has also disappointed you. He has also broken your heart. He has also shown up as less than a person that you want him to be. However, you still praise him. Okay, so your daughter is just like your father. Okay, didn't know it? That's what it is. So Lisa, we as a young child, the whole thing about how it wasn't normal. It wasn't, even if you thought it was. And when she then said how, as an adult, I can't tell you what I felt as a child. I don't know how to do that. I'm like, if you can't look inside yourself and have memories or conversations or thoughts and bring up things of how you felt as a child, that's an issue. And she told her, like, okay, that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? You need to do that by looking at your daughter, okay, and getting in touch with your friends, because your daughter stirs up feelings in you that you had as a child. That's why y'all have these issues. I was like, Iyanla, when I say she was on the money, spot on the money, okay? I was like, what is wrong with you? Are you in your childhood perfect, or was it perfect with your mom? I'm saying, in the aspect of a perfect childhood, was mine perfect? No. But I will say it was as perfect can be without being perfect. I don't have issues with my mom. My mom was a great mom, and I am thankful for that. So I'm not saying it was perfect. Because, birth father was on drugs. Luckily, she met my dad, my stepfather, who was my dad. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not at all saying that we had a perfect life. However, I was raised amazingly well, despite any issues that could have arrived, because raising kids is hard. I was a knucklehead kid or whatever. So again, it wasn't perfect by any means. However, it was perfect by the standards of I had a great childhood. I really, even with things I went through as a child that had nothing to do with my mom or my stepfather, my dad, doing wrong by us. That's what I mean. You can have a great childhood even if you have to go through things. That's what I meant by that. But again, Iyanla brings up how, Kai, who was her daughter, stirs up feelings in Lisa because of what she went through the child. And that's how you can remember your childhood shit through your daughter. And so she then has LisaRaye go lay down or whatever. And she asked her, like, okay, who were you at 5? 5 years old. I was spoiled, you know what I'm saying? I was in love with my father. I also feel like it always makes me feel weird that LisaRaye always expresses the love for her father as in, I was in love with my father. To me, I feel like her father instilled in her something that I just think is it's a weird thing. This is a weird thing. The whole in love part, like you can love your parent deeply, but it's a way that she consistently expresses her love of her father. So I was in love with him. You know what I'm saying? I was like, and I feel like her father instilled that in her, and she don't get how, that don't seem right all the time so much. It's kind of weird, you know what I'm saying? But all of that. But she then asked, like I said, when was the first time you felt like you were scared? She brings up how her mom left the house and was like at the neighbors or whatever, and her mom left, like, some beans on the stove, and then the stove got hot, so the house was like a smoke fire or whatever. And then she was locked in the house, and get out, and she hid or whatever. And she felt as if, okay, I can't depend on my mom to protect me because she left me here, locked the door, left the stove on, or whatever, it could have killed me. And I feel like with your daddy also was in these streets, okay, and could have also gotten you killed too. So again, she bigs up her father about how much she loved him or whatever, blah blah blah. But her mama's her worst story. Okay, fat. She brings up the first time she felt lonely was when she had to share her father with his other family. And I'm like, ain't that about a bitch? You was lonely because your father, you felt like you had to share him with his other family, but you don't say that the fact that he had a whole other family. I was like, what is wrong with it? Lisa? Okay, fine or whatever. She said it made her feel helpless, it made her feel angry or whatever, and it felt like she would lose her dad. And so at this point in time, I thought it was the first time I felt her break down because she started crying. I do think, for how much she loved her father, it was hard for her to feel as if I may lose him if I'm not the only person in his life that he cares about. She wanted to be his one and only, because he put that in her. Okay? That's kind of crazy. I'm about to be. And she asked her about her husband. I guess it was the prime minister. And she's like, well, he was like my father. He was out here being a hoe, a playboy, whatever. You're out here dating women. And I'm like, but you picked him. You picked a man just like your father. You then ignored things the same way your mama did or whatever. And then once it was over, you want to dog him for who you knew he was. And it's weird for you to speak negatively about your ex-husband, who was just like your father, but you consistently talk only positive things about your daddy, even though he was just as much not shit as your husband. Okay? Anyway, she then asked, okay, so why were you upset with your sister? What was that about? Lisa's response was, I felt upsetness. You know what I'm saying? What y'all saw was my upsetness with her. And, I was actually feeling, it was my feelings of me being hurt. I was hurt too. She brought up how, she had a whole new relationship that I did not hear about it from anyone. No, I did not hear about it from her. I'm saying, and then she came onto the public or whatever and did not talk to me about it. The killer part is, she then brought up how she came to the show. I was shocked she came to the show because we had not talked, and I couldn't be fake about her being there. And I love that Iyanla then said, but I asked you what was the breakdown that happened, and you haven't said what caused it. And if you think about it, she has never said why she's upset with Brad. And I feel as if you cannot say that you are upset. I had this on my table because my hair was wet, and now it's wet with the damn water on the table. But I feel as if you cannot say you as an adult woman are upset with your sister, who's also an adult woman, for coming out to the public as being gay, or taking her, relationship with Jessica, to a more serious level without talking to you, as if you have not known her whole life that Brad was gay. Okay, she should not have had to tell you that, okay, I'm going to come out to the world that I'm gay, because you knew it already. Okay, we also knew that she was dating Jessica. It wasn't a secret. She just wasn't like putting it out there like that. So I feel as if that is a BS reason to say that child was beefing, because she did not tell me about her own personal relationship before she came out. She was already with that lady. You already knew she was gay. So what else did you need her to tell you? It's bullshit. She can't even really say why she's mad at Brad. No one can. I don't think Brad can either. But I feel like no matter what the issue was, how she reacted to Brad did not match her fighting with Brad on camera. It does not, okay? And so this one, trying to get up or whatever. And then Iyanla asked her, like, I wonder if how much of what happened in your relationship with your father goes on in your relationships with people around you. It's like everything in your head is a betrayal because of his actions and his behavior. And you see and hear betrayal even in places and events that it doesn't even exist, because your mouth is saying something that you're hurt about or whatever, but your response is anger, as if someone has betrayed you. And it was like she was like just throwing down gems of people not even realizing how their emotions or how what they say counteracts or is counterproductive to what they're trying to put out to the world. And I'm like, come on, Iyanla, give it to me or whatever. At this point, she's a bit upset. Okay, she don't like it so much. LisaRaye is not happy about where this is going at the all or whatever. And then Iyanla realizes in her face, I have this up. Boom. She realized in her face that she felt some kind of way about it because she's mad now. LisaRaye right now, she's upset, she's mad, boo hoo hoo, whatnot. Okay. And then she's like, okay, so what did you hear me say? She says, nothing. You know what I'm saying? And she then asked her, okay, well, what happened just now? And then she say, I blanked out. Hey, I blanked out or whatever. And Iyanla asked her, well, how else or where else do you feel as if you do that in your life? Because that's what people get, that you're not there. You know what I'm saying? You black out in that whole conversation. You're not present in any moment or whatever. And, all of your close relationships have issues in this. It's all you. Okay, your mama felt like, you worried that you didn't need her. Your daughter felt like you were not there for her either. And when she brings up how the daughter felt that, LisaRaye then said, well, that's not true. She's never said that to me. And she said it in the last time y'all was here. We see the footage of the daughter saying, I'm saying, I felt like, at one point I wasn't listening to my mama. And she sent me away to, whatever the disciplinary school or whatnot, because she was too busy to really be there to mother me. Meaning she said she was busy working. She got more popular, whatever. She was gone more and more and more, and she could not deal with me. And so she sent me away. She said it on the show. But Lisa, of course, didn't hear it or whatever. And then, she's like, it's possible that you blanked out. But again, Kai said it. And when Lisa then said, oh, am I supposed to break my neck and be wherever I'm supposed to be when everyone else wants me to be there too? Am I supposed to do that? I'm looking like, bitch, what? What happened with that? What? The fact that she did not want to accept the fact of her daughter saying, you were not there. And that's how she felt. And that affected her to try to make it seem as if you should not have to be in more places than one at one time. Well, as a parent, sometimes you do. Sometimes hard decisions do have to be made. And it's like, why can't you accept that, Lisa? Why do you feel as if people have to see it you're on your way? But again, I'll leave that be. And so, again, Lisa's upset. And, it's kind of a little back and forth thing or whatever. And when Iyanla then said, look, I'm going to ask, you came to me, so I'm asking the questions or whatever, which made Lisa more mad, face all twisted up or whatever. And then, like, you know what? Let me be clear. You are not present for people or yourself in your life. Okay, that's what people feel from you. You don't be there. And this whole time that she's talking to her, you can see in Lisa's body language that she's going from I'm upset, I'm pissed, I don't hear it, to realizing, oh, I'm not even here right now. And I'm in the room, but I'm not here. She's realized, okay, what she's saying is true. The lights be on, but no one's home. And Lisa gives off a nothing vibe. Like she's either there for what she said and what she's doing, but anytime anyone tries to correct her and how she is not being her true self and being open to what's going on, she gets mad and she blanks out. And that's what it is. And she then, okay, I realized that I blank out because in my head, I'm tired of being there for everyone. I'm saying, so I just blank out because I ain't got time for whatever. And I was like, girl, leave that be. So, LisaRaye is saying she wants to be open and honest, but I don't believe her that much. I'm like, I don't believe it. Because a part of me feels as if she's still trying to be defensive, as if she don't have any idea of why people feel this from her, even though she displaying it as we speak. As we're watching her do it, that's what she does. So the following day, she comes in differently, okay, a whole different mindset, okay, different feeling, okay, up in here. And she brings up how she now realizes that she knows the work that needs to be done by her. She knows what she needs to do or whatever. And she does wonder why she has these issues that keeps coming up. And I love how Iyanla kind of explained that, the universe is wanting you to do things differently. You know what I'm saying? You have to be open to doing things differently. It doesn't mean that you have to fully change, but you have to realize some things aren't working. Let me switch it up, whatever. They then discuss her mom and like, what did your mom show you as a woman or whatever? And Lisa then said she showed me, the opposite of being valued, which means she showed me that she was being devalued as a woman. But I feel as if, so you want to say your mom showed you this negative trait, but you still speak so positively of your father, who was the one doing the devaluing. That's what I don't like, that how she gives negative stuff towards her mama. But her daddy, she never acts as if any of that matters, okay? But my mama taught me to not value this or that or whatever. And then, she made great points. Iyanla did. She said, your mom, not your mom, but you have to recognize and realize and acknowledge how you may devalue yourself or other women, which we have seen her do on that damn show. How you may feel victimized or you may victimize other women, which we've seen her do on that damn show. Did you set up competition or even feel like you are competing with your daughter, which we have seen her do with plenty of people? Okay. And then she's like, you have to look at those things in life and do it all in a different way. You can't always be the victim or have competition or feel like, you're the this and the that. And I'm like, these, this is like, Iyanla is putting things clear as day on what she do and how she do it. And I like that it seemed like she was open to these aha moments and she realized it, but I also, it's a part of me also feel like I don't want her to be acting like she gets it. You know what I'm saying? To make it seem as if it worked. Oh yeah, it worked or whatever. And then, Lisa does admit that she has done those things, devaluing people, feeling victimized or victimizing others. And so she's done all these things her whole life. And that, she can accept and acknowledge that. And then she brings up, was anything buffering? Can y'all see me right? Am I buffering? Because someone says, anyone else live stream, buffering. I hope I'm still good. If it is, you got to just redo your thing, what it ain't me. Because I see myself good on my stream and also my live streams. I don't know. Okay, no, thank y'all very much. So Iyanla brings up how, you need to have the courage to say that don't work for me no more. Okay, the things you have done before, it no longer serves a purpose in your life. And that is the great part. So she do show her some footage of her last time and where she was saying how she wanted her house back. She wanted her mom to move out. She wanted Kai to move out. And at first she says it's a day of Kai gonna move out, like, in 2 months. I'm gonna give her a whole time frame. They said that's it. She gotta go right now. But she did say, I wanted to move out, but I also need her while she's still in my house. She has to clean up. And she was like, no. You know what I'm saying? You have, if your goal is to get your home back and to get them out, you should fuck them dishes. Let them sit for 2 months if need be. Do not require her to do more than leave your house. You know what I'm saying? Do not require more of someone than what you want them to do. If you want them to leave your house, okay, that's all they should have to do. They should not have to do shit else besides prepare themselves to go. Because sometimes asking them to do anything more than that prevents them from leaving and getting the fuck out. And so I was cool. But we do know that, the girl still live there. So I'm like, whatever. So I was like, doesn't matter. Because again, you still have not required your daughter to move out. So it doesn't really matter. Does this part really match at all? And what I can appreciate was, she brought up how, Iyanla did, how we learned by falling and getting hurt. You fall, you learn by falling and having to get back up and try it again. Your daughter needs to fall and get hurt. And then LisaRaye then said, and then when she does that, she can call me if she needs help me. And Iyanla said, you know what? Even right now, okay, your daughter is in trouble, you know, but are you really there for her, or are you just telling her what to do? And that's a difference, because if you keep telling her what to do, you're not allowing her to really fall and learn shit, because you're doing too much along the way. Because when you're no longer here, what will she do? She won't be used to falling and getting up at all. And that's what people don't get. You can be there for someone and not know that you ain't helping their ass at all. Okay. Uh that's what has to be learned. And I was like, girl, okay. Now we do see, she was gonna first say, be out in 2 months. She's, oh, ain't it gonna be a year? She full of shit with that, because the daughter's still there. But they talk about some patterns that she has. And she asked Lisa, are you aware that your daddy cheated and your husband cheated, and the feeling attached to that? Are you aware you were spoiled and your daughter is spoiled? Are you aware that your mom was controlling over you and you are not controlling over Kai? Are you aware that your parents acted like nothing was wrong and you do that in your life now too? And she said yes to all of it. Yes, 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 yes. I know it all. Absolutely. And then, but she now has a understanding that she has work to do. Okay, I have work, with all these things don't make no damn sense. And she's like, I know I need to do that in order to be successful. I'm not cool. Now she tells like, I can't crown you myself. Okay, I can't crown you. I can't put you in the throne or whatever, because you have to do that. That has to be on you to crown yourself. She takes you back to the little steps, whatever, the little valleys and whatnot. And she's like, so it's your choice to sit in this throne or no. What you gonna do? And she brought up how because you have to be able to stand your truth and in the fullness of who you are. And if you're ready, you can sit down. It's your choice. And Lisa, I know the valleys are lessons that I'll keep teaching myself, whatever, and blah blah. But she said, I do think I'm this person. I'm going to be that person. But she then sat down, and I called bullshit, because it's my thing. Not that I don't think she got good gems and jewels in this thing. I felt like you have not done the work to sit in that throne yet. Because if you wasn't ready 2 days ago, you ain't ready now either. And I feel as if, you only got the tools to work through these valleys, okay? You should have at least first do some work. I would have loved if she would have said, you know what? I'm almost there. I want to do more work so that I can be sure I deserve that throne right now. She sat down for me for TV. Okay. But I was like, that's on her. Iyanla also brings up, if I see you acting out, I will call you out. If you don't believe me, ask Evelyn Lozada. And my exact note that I wrote in here was, where was your ass the last 2 seasons of basketball, Iyanla? Because I feel like you called Evelyn out earlier, for past shit. But the fact that, you ain't called her out recently, to me is bullshit. But again, it isn't Iyanla's job to continually call Evelyn out on her bullshit, because again, it's going to be a long job, whatever. But I'm my girl, bye. But again, we see that Kai still lives with LisaRaye after the show aired. I was like, girl. And that was our episode. I mean, it was a good episode. Good work was done. I really feel like good work was done between the two. I think that, she gave her great advice, gave her great tidbits or whatever. And we hope LisaRaye does better. But I feel as if watching her on ladies, the Fox Soul show, some of the bullshit she say to me means she not done with the work with herself. She needs to do more. Okay. Just do something or whatever. My family reminds me so much of LisaRaye. We act like everything is cool, but being in the younger one generation, I don't get. Yeah, it's like some people who have never had therapy or who have never just sat back and thought, like, you know what, this is some bullshit. Like some people feel as if because you family, you even have to be around talking shit. No. I don't have to be around you just because we got the same blood. If you want some bullshit, I'm gonna keep my peace over here. Okay? Over here. I have family who are like, why don't you call? Why don't you come back? Because when I call, come back, it be on some someone say some bullshit. I'm like, you know what? Y'all want to avoid stuff. And when I say, I mean like more my bio dad side of the family. Y'all want to ignore bullshit that I don't want to ignore. And that my 39-year-old self, I'm not going to. So I just choose to distance myself. I don't love you any less. But people have to realize when your family be on BS and wants to ignore the toxic stuff going on, just keep yourself in a better space. Okay, get your therapy, get your mind right, and stay over here. Don't go over there. You don't have to. Love it as from afar is what I say. You know, for LisaRaye to be such a beautiful woman, seems like she's always upset. The episode with her coming by herself was a little more of an eye opener. Right, I agree. It was, and I feel like had they had more time to go through it all, it could have been even more better. However, they only had so much time. But again, it was a good episode. I this last season of Iyanla, I feel as if Iyanla, like I'm gonna put it all out there to give the best help to whoever, you know, to do these things. You know what I'm saying? You can't, if you ever watch an Iyanla show and you don't get gems from what she's saying, you're not watching for the right reasons. You know what I'm saying? You can't watch it because it's LisaRaye to see what she's doing. You should watch it to see what this other black woman is telling this other black woman to help her get to a better place. And if LisaRaye as one black woman doesn't get it yet, that's fine. But she can't ever say that she did not get the tools to try to do things differently. You know what I'm saying? And I'm my girl. But I still do not like how she consistently speaks positively about father, but negatively about her mama, as if her father was not the one treating her mama like shit. That was crazy. And then not only that, they're still talking about this man. He's been dead for years. Like I refuse to let a dead person who was just not the best person control me years after they're dead and gone. Not me. Not on my watch, okay? Because that ain't what's supposed to happen. But again, you have to know when it's okay to walk away from toxic people, be that friends, men, family, jobs, whatever. Hairstylists, nail technicians, shoe salesmen, I don't know, whatever it may be, okay? Your damn piece delivery man, I don't know. But you need to know when it is okay to walk away. And it does not mean you love that person any less. But we have to get to the moment, into the steps of always knowing you need to walk in the steps of putting you first. Putting you first does not make you a bad person when you are doing that for the betterment of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Meaning if a situation is not good and you put yourself first, that's fine. That's okay. It's okay to do that. Ain't nothing wrong with that, okay? Have fun with that because it will then remind you that you don't have to be unhappy. Think about how happier LisaRaye or her mama could have been had they both stopped fucking with their damn daddy. Think about it. Okay? Just saying. My thing. Anyway, I'm done. And that's the end of my rant today. Do not forget to like the video. Like that. Look, how many likes we got? Look, it is 200 of y'all in here, okay? My video should not only have 77 likes, okay? Y'all are stalking me, as Bonnie would say, which means you watching someone and not liking their content. How can you do that? How? Okay, it's free content, but you know what? It's fine because those who like me is fine. Okay, those who don't, I don't care. I love you still. Okay, but I'm gonna leave that be. I will be live tomorrow for my Housewives of Atlanta and Mary Dimension reviews. Y'all know I am no longer on the panel on Mondays. I am doing my own videos on Mondays now because again, I don't have time. So yeah, I'll be live tomorrow, 9 p.m. for Housewives of Atlanta, 10 p.m. or right after Housewives for Married to Medicine. I'm also reviewing Saints and Sinners. I'm going to watch the movie today that came on like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. I'm going to review the new season that starts tonight. So, yeah. So, between today and tomorrow, y'all will get Housewives, Married to Medicine, and Saints and Sinners. Episode 1. They will all be live reviews. Live reviews are better because it's the connection to y'all, and it helps me not have to edit. So I love it. Anyway, have a great Sunday. Be blessed. Okay. Think positive thoughts. Hug yourself. Air hug strangers. Okay. And as I always tell y'all, do not send your cooch via text. Okay. If he wants to see it, he'll come see it in person. Gotta go. Love you all. Peace.